looking at myself with makeup on, and I just feel like I've still got it on. I just tried the Megan Fox and Angelina Jolie ones. It looked exactly the same, apart from a tiny bit more brown on the eyes. That was all the difference it was. It didn't make any difference at all, but I feel like I've still got that makeup on, and clearly I have not got any filter on. It's just my face, but it just it's amazing how glamorous and Angelina Jolie like you feel if you've got pretend makeup on. I don't know. So I've been spending the most of today cleaning this lovely different coloured sofa. My parents, there was fleas. I'm pretty sure there was fleas in the other one because it was in a doggy, smoky home. My parents were like, oh, you never guess what, we've got you a different sofa. I'm like, all right, well, one of the problems was I stuck to the leather sofa, but they didn't want fabric because it's difficult to clean. But then they got it home. This is a second-hand, I was going to say toaster, it's a sofa. And it smelled sort of clean, but it smelled clean in a sort of, they've sprayed it with Febreze. And my mum was like, oh, no, they make a point of making sure that they clean the furniture before they give it to you. So I was sitting on it for a bit and I thought, let's have a look. And I looked underneath and it very clearly was a dog-owning home. So I have spent the whole day, my arms are so tired, I spent the whole day cleaning with this, I had to buy a special lint remover. There's so much dog hair and fluff. Also, there was like little bits of lint. I did video, but I haven't put it up yet. But it was, and also there was sort of bits, the cracks, the wooden bits had lots of holes in them. So I've been furniture restoring. Furniture, look, I got this. I'm very excited about this. It's got all different colours, and you mix them up the right colour, and then you put them in. And then if there's more, then I just managed to just paint this. And I had a bit left over, so I did the table. But now there's not enough wooden stuff in here to justify a gigantic professional floor and furniture repair kit. So I'll have to go professional to be a professional floor and furniture repair kitter person. Look at all the colours. Very exciting. Haha, hello. It's very exciting, but now I'm so tired. So tired. I think I was supposed to do the Edinburgh show in the evenings on Saturday and Sunday, but I was so tired that I sort of cancelled it, and I'll go back to it on Tuesday. Oh, it's only a little bit early, a minute or two. I just suddenly thought, well, I'm here, I may as well. What else have I got to do? Because I've been like, I've been very much on the TikTok sort of, like, I must do 5 TikTok videos a day that are no more than 2 minutes, and mostly only about 10 seconds. So I'm very much more than 10 seconds. It's like, it's too long. So I've got to get back on the long. So I think that's hampering the delivery of my show, my Edinburgh show from the comfort of Wales, because I'm just like, oh no, I have to get back into the flow of doing in an hour. And then on Friday, the one I had guests with, I didn't check, and the guests were unable to make them. I've rescheduled the guests, so one of them's on Tuesday, which is pre-recorded. We arranged a pre-recorded one, and the other one had internet problems. Didn't even know that they were supposed to be on it, so they're not on until next Friday. So they will be. So nothing will be missed. It will all be sorted, and everyone will appear, but just not then. So it was a little bit embarrassing. I was just la la la. I can't think what to do. La. Okay, bye. And then, I don't know. And then in the evening, it's like, it's too hot. I just can't. So I wasn't going to do anything. I did about 10 minutes in the end. But it's like, if nobody's going to, I mean, it all depends on people turning up and suggesting things. And if nobody turns up, which they haven't been doing, or technical things go wrong, so I can't see any of the comments. So I'm just flying blind. No, like flying without knowing where you're going. I keep, flying without knowing flying without knowing how to fly a plane. That's a better analogy, really. Oh my goodness me, I'm so tired. So very, very tired. How is everybody been? Look, I've still got my guitar. I don't think it's in tune, but it's nearly in tune. And I used a toothbrush because it's got Velcro. I used a toothbrush to try and get the hairs out of the Velcro. And then I found it was an electric toothbrush, and so I thought, oh, that'll be easier, but it wasn't, because all that happened is it vibrated on my thumb and gave me a blister. Yes, it's too hot to do anything. I think we've got rid of the fleas, but I don't know, because this is a new a new opportunity. It's also coming from a dog owner's home. I was thinking, well, it's from 2008. There's a label on it. 2008, and I don't know how long my parents have had the other sofa, but it's a very similar style, different colour, but it's the sort of thing that the other people might have had. So if it's the same dog owner that donated to the same charity that in both cases did not clean the sofa, then we might have the same problem. But I have very diligently cleaned it, very, very, very thoroughly, and I've sprayed all the flea spray everywhere. So I haven't noticed anything for the last few days. So let's hope. I'll just keep spraying and making sure, and hopefully it's actually quite a nice comfy sofa. It's smaller. Look, it's just like a love seat, really. The person I love, invisible person here. Hello, ghosty person. Oh, I don't know what. I don't want to encourage the ghost in this house. There, whoever they may be. Sorry, didn't mean to lead you on. That's a Robert Palmer song, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't mean to lead you on, you ghost. That's not how it goes. But I didn't want to be done for copyright. And also, I found out that peppermint oil and tea tree oil, this peppermint oil and tea tree oil, very much I was going to say the ghosts, but the fleas don't like these. So I've been spreading it all over, and I've had the stuff that you get, the insect repellent. So I've sprayed a lot of stuff everywhere, and it's just like, I can't breathe because I'm covered in peppermint and tea tree oil and insect repellent. Yes, I've definitely washed all my clothes about 1,800 times. Like the same clothes. And that's another thing though. I looked at the washing machine. My mum had been doing it on like a 40-degree 25-minute wash or 40-minute wash. It was like, that seems short. And that apparently is for washing things that don't get very dirty every day. And I looked in the washing machine last week, I might have said, and it was a little bit sort of black mouldy, and it smelled bad. So I spent a long time. I bought like Dettol thing that you put in the washing machine, and then it still smelled bad, and I cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it, and I put black mold remover on it, and then I cleaned it some more, and then I cleaned it about 5 more times. It still smelled bad, and then I whooped out the drawer, and it was like mold everywhere. Now it's not too bad now, but I think it probably anyway 60 degrees for everything. So I'm hottest. So these clothes have gone through, because the first time they smelled funny, and then the second time I was like, have they got fleas? And the third time, for the same clothes, it's like they don't smell too bad now, and they might not have fleas. Maybe the mold killed the fleas. It's like, swallowed a spider that swallowed a fly. Perhaps I'll die. Perhaps I very much will. So I've got all the things on me, and I've got antihistamines, and I've got all sorts of antihistamine cream, and all the oils. So yeah, so I did actually see the one. I've only seen the one flea. It just jumped, and it's so powerful, onto your finger. It's like definitely a flea. And I haven't had any bites for several days, so that's good. And the sofa's gone now. The stupid sofa that probably caused it all in the first place. But in this house, I got bug problems before, even before the sofa. And I went to the doctor with it, and the doctor says, you've got scabies. And so I was like, oh no. But everyone's like, no, you haven't got scabies. Don't be stupid, you haven't got scabies. It's like, but the doctor said, it's like, no, you haven't got scabies. So everyone else told me that I didn't have scabies and refused to believe it. Even the doctor said, so I just lived with it until it went. I don't have it anymore as far as I know, but everyone's like, don't tell people that. It's like, well, sorry, but okay. But that's pretty bad. I think but it might have just been fleas that time, to be honest. It went away on its own, so who even knows? I don't like this house. Old houses, like rats and slugs and snails come in, and they have actually had, there was a hole in the skirting board, and I think, I wasn't here at the time, but a rat came in, and slugs all the time. Not fairly recently they stopped coming, but you find little silver trails across the floor, and when you wake up, I've never seen the snails or the slugs, whatever they are. You could just see the evidence. The ghostly snails, really. So maybe, that's maybe what it was. It wasn't ghost. It was ghosts. Yeah, it wasn't snails. It was ghosts. And that was actually ectoplasm. I think I've probably realised that before. realised, I say. It's just a, but also there's like a little mini lady shave that I used for this to try and get, because it wasn't, it was a lot of arm work, but this little lady shave thingy that that you're supposed to carry around, I was like, okay, I'll try and use it. I'm not going to use it on my face. It's for your face. That's embarrassing, isn't it? But anyway, I used it on the furniture instead. So it's more useful, really. La 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 la. So there you go. So yeah, that little lady shave didn't work at all. So what a load of old rubbish. Oh no, I've got an itchy bottom. Oh no, have I got bitten by a flea? I'm just anxious now. I'm just thinking about maybe I've got bitten, even if I haven't got bitten. But I'm gonna keep putting peppermint oil everywhere. Peppermint oil. Go away with you, you stupid insect attacking me. It could just be that I'm allergic to peppermint oil now. I'm gonna get itchy because I'm covered in oil. It's very, very powerful. If you had smell-o-vision, you'd be able to smell the very strong. Which did I put on? I think I put a bit of tea tree and a bit of peppermint oil, and they've mixed together to form some sort of biological weapon, which will probably kill us all. That was probably a terrible mistake. Now I'm itchy again. I think that's psychological, but maybe not. I can't see anything. Just oh no. Just yes. Spanish flea. What did you do to me? You're not actually Spanish, but it's like Spanish fly, only more jumpy. Da 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 da. That's about a flea, isn't it? Da 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 da. Is it? I don't know. It might be. But as I said the other day, puce is the colour of the fleas. Puce, which is one of these colours on this colour chart for furniture. So fleas and furniture. You could mend furniture with fleas, maybe. I don't know. That's probably not a thing that you can actually do. So I'm here for another 3 weeks. The time has flown away. I don't know what I'm going to do in September. I haven't lined up any work. I'm hoping to become a big TikTok star, but I don't think that's very realistic. But then again, what is anymore? That could happen, even though the average age of the people on TikTok is 12, even though you're supposed to be 13. I don't see any 12-year-olds. That's the impression I got. The people on my feed are all very grown up, but they keep saying they've got horrible hate comments from very young people that say you're too old to do anything. Go away, you old people. But everybody I see is very much older than me, or about the same age, or maybe not. I don't know how ages work anymore. I don't know how old anyone is, really. But I think I got the old people TikTok at the moment, so that's why I'm not actually doing very well on TikTok, because the sort of videos I make are not the sort of things that sensible old people would want to listen or watch. And the sort of things I watch, I've said this before, the sort of things I watch are very, very sensible, very, very serious. So it's all over the place, really. The algorithm's not on my side. Yes, exactly. Once you get old, you're like, I'll keep going forever and ever. I'll keep going, whatever the weather. I'll keep going, except maybe this weather because it's a bit hot. But I'll keep going forever and ever and ever. And also, I noticed and I'm sorry to be talking about another app while I'm here, but I noticed, why is Matt Berry narrating all these things? He's saying some very odd things, because you can get other people's sounds and put them on your own videos. I'm like, it's a bit odd. Why? What's that from? And then it turns out today I found out that there's a person doing impressions of Matt Berry and saying all sorts of bizarre things that people are using in their videos, and it explains quite a lot that was inexplicable for a couple of days. But the same 3 songs keep turning up, and I'm like, there's one about something about being your dad in 1985, and there's one that's got about, this is not an emerald, it's bad example, and there's one about a freaky monster, which apparently comes from a musical about a cyclone fairground ride. I've been looking these things up because I'm like, what's this? And there was a Bo Burnham song that's about being a feminist until you're a spider or a spider something or other that people are using for, it's like the same for flipping songs, and nobody's crediting them because it turns out that the actual artist doesn't seem to have got the rights to it. It's like they've got somebody else has recorded it and they've taken it from that person, and that person's taken it from some other person. It's like whispered down the line. Eventually somebody's got it and you're like, what is that anymore? I don't know what it is. It's just completely distant. There's another one. There's it's on YouTube. It's a telephone song or something that keeps appearing, and it's just a random fragments, like very catchy fragments. And there's also a Kelly song that's pretty insulting and a little bit weird, and everyone's like, this is a disgusting song, why well, like Elise. And it's like, well, if you didn't keep pointing it out, then nobody would have known about it. Just forget about it is what I say. If it's really, really horrible. That's another thing. Somebody got banned and cancelled in Edinburgh. Jerry Sadowitz, who I sort of didn't quite meet, but there used to be a place called Fringe Central where you went to do your emails back in the olden days. You all went and did your emails, and I remember going to do my emails. It took for ages because I was still doing videos. It'd take an hour. You got an hour slot, and it would take an hour to upload any of my 5-minute videos. Very, very slow internet. So I'd have to sit there. And then Jerry Sadowitz was writing his emails next to me, and I was like, ooh, Jerry Sadowitz. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he's done bad and shocking bad things and got cancelled. And I'm just like, oh, outrageous, he's got cancelled. And then you hear why he got cancelled, and you're like, I don't know, really. Maybe, he is famous for being controversial. But, there's controversy, and there's just plain, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? But, I mean, that said, he was booked for 2 nights by people that must have known the sort of thing he does, and he did that, and he apparently says insulting, terrible things that are awful, but they knew that, so you may as well let him do it for 2 nights. Yes, he's a shock act. I have not seen his act. All I know of his act, that he says terrible, horrible things and just shocking and outrageous, and says things that nobody else, nobody else dares to say on stage. That's the thing. So knowing that, just they let him do it once and then they cancelled the second. What a pointless waste of time. Either don't let him do them at all, or do the 2 of them, because it's just going to be the same old rubbish. I'm sure he's very talented. Everybody says he's very good at magic because he's a magic comedian. Magic, I'm not really into magic unless you've got a bit of a twist. I suppose being insulting is a bit of a twist, but it's not a bit of a twist I appreciate. I like people that do it, like mentalism, that's very good. And people that pretend to be psychic, but are obviously not. I like the magic that is questioning things, and the magic that has a story behind it, and the magic that is very exciting in another way, like magic that's used as a prop for everything else, magic that says something philosophical, something philosophical. I'd appreciate the magic. I have people that do spooky magic. I've got one guest next week, Spooky Magic, who runs the Edinburgh Horror Festival. So I like that sort of magic. I like the sort of magic that has a point to it. I don't like just random magic and then swearing at you. I think that sounds a bit boring, to be honest. But everyone says it's amazing. Anyway, he got cancelled. I feel very sorry for him. He's probably lost money, but I don't think he has, because all that will happen is the people that like him will like him more. He's like Roy Chubby Brown, only more sort of, cool Roy Chubby Brown. Because Roy Chubby Brown says terrible things, but he gets away with it and fills really big halls, and everybody goes to see him because he says horrible, terrible things. Nasty, offensive things, but that's what the audience wants, and if what the audience wants is what they get, there's no such thing as cancel culture, because everybody finds their way, and if there was cancel culture, then how come everybody gets rich from it? The worse things you say, I mean, obviously, he's probably insured for loss of income, and I'm sure that he'll get his money. I mean, if you've cancelled it then I'm sure it's just, I don't know, it all comes across a bit odd. And as everyone's been saying, this is sure to highlight and publicise his upcoming tour that probably wasn't getting people to see it anyway, because it's like, who remembers he was there? And now they remember that he's there. So well done him for saying horrible, terrible things and doing awful, terrible things. Well done you. I hope you're proud of yourself. Now, I would never do horrible, terrible things, but I say that, and it's very easy to stumble into these horrible, terrible things. I keep saying things and going, that's not what I mean. What have I just said? So talking of which, the tweets, Taika Waititi. See, it's like, don't say that. Say his real name, Waititi. Taika Waititi has got in trouble for tweets that he allegedly made in 2013. That are bad. The thing is, it's like, well, that does look bad, but then you don't see what the previous tweet is, and I tried to look on the Wayback Machine, and in 2013, there's only one imprint, because Wayback Machine sort of, it took a picture, as it is, it took a picture of the sites, and but there's only one at the end of 2013 in October. So you can't go back until the September is the earliest it says. There's previous years, there's an imprint, but you can't see it. And it says this, because everyone's looking at it, maybe, you can't see whether there's any that go back any further. So I don't know what the context was, so I will withhold judgment till I know what the context was. It sounds very bad, but everything sounds bad out of context. You can say something that's really quite benign and it sounds bad out of context, and there's other things that are just awful, and it did sound quite awful, but it might have been out of context. I don't know why he said that. I don't know why, but there must be a reason, and I don't know the reason because I looked and looked and I could not find. Somebody deliberately took it out of context, but it was pretty bad. But everybody says bad things and nobody cancels them. Just got to look at the recent thing with the court cases and nobody cancels them except for the people that get hurt and they get cancelled. So the victims get cancelled, but the people that do terrible, awful things get away with it, and everyone goes, I love them. I like them in that thing. Especially if they are certain demographic. Not saying what demographic, but I think you probably find out if you looked it up. Talking of which, I said to him, my dad's always like getting at me, and so it's like if my mother or a woman does something, he says, you women are all alike, and whatever it is, I get included. And I'm like, why do you keep including me in other people's things? He's like, you all women, you're all alike. It's like, would it help if you called me son? And he's like, no, because men are just as bad. And it's like, well, it's all rubbish anyway. I don't even feel associated with any of that rubbish. What is man? What is woman? Who the hell cares? Why would you be horrible about somebody because you think that they're one thing? Duh, it's ridiculous. Leave it alone. So my solution of just call me son, because my dad's not good with names anyway. No, because he hates everyone now. So that's okay. Okay, don't then. But just don't include me in any of it. If you've got a problem with any group of people, not me. Nothing to do with me. I will not I'll give up a card from whatever group of person that is. Not me. Who is that? Not me. It's like, not all Elises. Anybody but me. Just don't blame me. Blame me for the things I do, not for what other people who you think are a bit like me in some way or other do, because it's irrelevant. It's a great big elephant in the corner. A white elephant, a pink elephant. It's just an elephant. It's irrelevant. Elephants are irrelevant, except for the nice ones that live in Asia and Africa, and they're good. The real elephants are not irrelevant, but the metaphorical elephants are definitely irrelevant. And that's the end of that. So, obviously good. All elephants are good, except for a metaphorical elephant, which is bad. but not all elephants. Where am I going with that? I don't know. Why would I know? Anyway, I've got no evening show until Tuesday. I was thinking of cancelling all of them because I'm like, this is just going horribly, horribly wrong in various different ways. It's also, whatever can go wrong will definitely go wrong. Thank you for my 3 likes, 3 people that are here. I don't know whether that's 3 other random people. That's what else have you said to me? Lots of things. Live chat. When LWT started, oh yes, language, exactly. People used to, there's still a watershed. You're not supposed to broadcast things that are going to be harmful to children before 9 o'clock. But they stay up all hours. When I was working in a primary school, one of the little kids was drawing these things, all sorts of things, and it's got nothing to do with what time things are on anymore. He was drawing these things, and I was like, what is that? He's like, it's the upside down. It's a, yeah, and it was like, Stranger Things. It's like, do you watch Stranger Things? But you're a bit young for Stranger Things. He's like, no, it's my favourite programme. I watch it all the time. But I was working in a different primary school and there was a 5-year-old that was telling every single other kid about all the things that he'd seen, all the horror movies he'd seen. He'd seen Chucky, he'd seen The Exorcist, he'd seen all the, like, Saw, and he was telling the other kids about it. And it was like, who on earth let you watch these? And it's like, please don't tell the other kids about these terrible, scary things. You shouldn't be watching them. How on earth did this happen? Where are the parents? Like, once they're in school, not much you can do about it if they've been watching these scary things at home. Scary things at home. Scary things will scare you, and there's scary things at home. There's more than just films that are scary at home. Home is scary, scary is home. Home is scary, scary is home. Don't go home. That's probably a lesson for us, all of us. Never go home. It's too scary. You get bitten by fleas and all sorts. It's just so much problem. Oh my God, I've turned into Dot Cotton. You see? I can't do Dot Cotton now. I'm trying to do her. Accidentally sort of, channeling June, what's her name? June. That was her name. She wasn't Dot Cotton. She was a real person. But Dot Cotton was a character. She was very posh. But she didn't sound posh like that because she was a lifelong smoker. But yeah, June Whitfield. That's not her name. That was a different June. Not all Junes. Yeah, just because somebody's called June, it doesn't mean you can blame everything on them that the other Junes have done. June Allison. That's who I was trying to think of when I was thinking of June, other person June. June Allison's very much not the same person. No. And whatever happened to Baby Jane? Baby June was Gypsy Rose Lee's sister. Baby June something or other. I can't even remember. She was a film star briefly as well, but she wasn't June Allison. She was June something else. Havers. June Havers. It all comes flooding back to me. June Havers, but not all Junes, like I said. They're not all the same. They're all different Junes. But there's sand Junes and there's moons and Junes. They're all different. Not one of them's the same. You can't hold them accountable for every other June's responsible things that they do, responsibility things responsible. Lost my thread, completely lost it. It's all this peppermint oil. It's just like, why am I in peppermint oil? Peppermint oil! And that's tea tree. That's not even peppermint oil. Tea tree, which is highly toxic if you put it on your mouth and stuff. So you've got to be ever so careful and it gets absorbed. So I hope I've only put the peppermint oil on. I mean, it's highly toxic to people. It's also highly toxic to fleas, probably, hopefully. So it all works out in the end. Anyway, I am going to not have a show tomorrow, but you can guys see me on TikTok and see all my amazing videos. And I am going to put up my little short about so it took hours and hours to fix this sofa. And the short is going to be a minute maximum. Just all the work. It's very reductive. It's very reductive is these shorts, but I can put it up here, so I don't need to. You don't need to go and see me on TikTok, but you could if you wanted to. Still got filter envy, seeing all the filters, all different filters, all of them. I haven't tried what I look like as Vecna from Stranger Things. I wonder. Exactly the same, yes, exactly. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and join me again on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, where I will be discussing stuff and things, and it'll be very much the same as this, only, hello, yes, have a good week, and if you can catch me on 7 o'clock, if you can't, then I'll see you next week at 8. All right then, bye-bye.